Hello traders, hello everyone. My name is Olimpio Tuns and today I will be your host at this live webinar. Please confirm guys into the chat that you can hear me and confirm that everything is okay. Yeah. Hello Sarah. Please take a short moment to read the risk disclaimer before we'll start this live webinar and before we'll talk about our open positions, and we will talk about Forex pairs, commodities, cryptocurrencies, and about fundamentals. But as please take a short moment here to read the risk disclaimer and confirm guys into the YouTube chat that you can hear me. Thank you. And if you have questions, I'm waiting for your questions into the YouTube. Okay, thank you, Drew. Okay, so let's start with our open positions and let's talk about the US dollar versus the Japanese yen. So we have a strong upside movement here. So yeah, we had a short position on gold today. The short position was stopped by the stop loss, unfortunately, and yeah, maybe we should have used another risk, but let's talk about the US dollar versus the Japanese yen here right now, and I will talk about gold later in a few minutes. Okay, so even if we had a loss today in gold, we are still more than 1%. We have more than 1% growth here in the real account, and US dollar versus the Japanese yen could approach and reach the force target soon. Okay, and if the price will reach it, then we will have 113 pips profit. So that's why we decided here to move our stop loss at break even right below this former low to secure this long position. And if the price will reach our first target, maybe we will close half and we'll let the remaining 50% in this trade to move higher, okay, and to approach and maybe reach the second target. Okay, and let's take a look here. So personally, I'm expecting here on the US dollar versus the Japanese yen to continue to increase, and let's take a look on the Nikkei. As you can see here, one moment, I will delete these from here. This you already know from my previous live webinar and from my analysis. The Nikkei, the Japanese stock index, is still bullish. It has developed this major pattern here, maybe a continuation pattern. The price has registered only a false breakdown here below this uptrend line, below the upper medium line, below the weekly support, and now after a temporary consolidation it could jump higher. So a potential growth here registered by the Nikkei, by the Japanese stock index, could push the US dollar versus the Japanese yen higher, could force the Japanese yen to depreciate versus its rivals. Okay, so the bias is bearish on the Japanese yen after the BOG. And let's go back to the US dollar versus the Japanese yen. So the price here has found strong support at 38.2. It has jumped above the minor downtrend line, signaling that we may have a reversal, a bullish reversal in the short term. And now it has stabilized right above the weekly resistance, R1, 108.64. Now it's traded above the former high, above the 23.6, and it should continue to increase. And as I've told you earlier, here in our real account, that the price could approach and hit our first target soon. Okay, so the bias is bullish and the pair could continue to move higher. Okay, yeah, it depends, guys. It depends on your broker, yeah, because some of you guys, maybe your position wasn't stopped at the stop loss and just a few minutes ago hit take profit 1. Yeah, Frederick, depends on your broker, depends on spread. GBP versus the US dollar showing a flag in H1. Are we still in play? Let's take a look there as well. GBP versus the US dollar, guys. We have a long position on H1. A flag in H1. Yeah, guys. So as you already know from my video analysis, the pair is still bullish as long as it stays right above this one, above this lower medium line of the ascending pitchfork. And I've told you guys that if the price stays right above 23.6, above this lower medium line, and if it makes a new higher high here to jump and close above these former highs, then it could continue to increase in the short term. That's why we decided to go long on this currency pair. Okay, and yeah, the price consolidates right above these former highs and it could move higher if the DXY will continue to drop. Okay, and yeah, we are still in play here on the GBP versus the US dollar. Let's take a look here as well on our real account. One moment, guys. So as you can see here as well, we are in profit right now. We moved our stop loss right below this former low here on the 1 hour chart. You can see that we placed our stop loss right below this former low. The price moved sideways and it could continue to increase in the short term, and probably it will hit our first take profit. Okay, so we are still in play on this one here. And maybe a consolidation here, a temporary sideways movement, a minor range here is natural after this aggressive drop, after passing above these former highs, above this static resistance area. So this is still in play. Okay, let's take a look also on GBP versus the Singapore dollar. Okay, so let's take a look here. I will hide it from here. Okay, so let's go on the 4 hour. And as you already know, we had a long positions, or we have a long position here in GBP versus the Singapore dollar. We are in profit here as well. The price consolidates right above our entry, above our entry point, so this is still valid and it could continue higher in the short term, and it could approach and reach maybe our first take profit. Okay, so we had an entry at 1.8460. The price stabilizes right above the weekly pivot, and now it's almost to reach this downtrend line. A valid breakout above it could send the price higher towards our first target here in GBP versus the Singapore dollar. Okay, so we are bullish here. We are long here on this pair. The price has failed here to close or stabilize right below 1.8381. Static support. All these false breakdowns with great separation followed by a new high, a breakout here has signaled that the pair could continue higher. Yes, I wish I hadn't moved the stop loss point. Yeah, the stop loss point. Yeah, guys. Unfortunately for some of you, the price of gold has reached the stop loss, and unfortunately you registered the minor loss. But don't worry, because we still have good trades, open trades, and we could still make some profit today or later tomorrow. So yeah, we will talk about gold as well. Yeah, unfortunately gold is very volatile today. Okay, so yeah, gold is very volatile right now because the US has published its advanced GDP, gross domestic product, advanced GDP price index, unemployment claims. So all these US data have added volatility into the market. And let's take a look on gold, guys. Yeah, unfortunately the price has reached our stop, as I've told you earlier. Okay guys, I hope that you can still hear me because we have a technical issue here. But as I've told you here, unfortunately the price has increased a little to retest the weekly pivot point before dropping deeper. So yeah, the price of gold is trapped within this minor range here in the short term. I will close this one from here. Okay, so one moment guys, please confirm into the chat that you can still hear me and that everything is okay. Okay, I believe that everything is okay and we can continue. You can find, Tim, you can find, yeah, you should use a minimum size, and you should use maybe a pip size calculator, a size position calculator, to calculate your positions, your size. So let's talk about gold here. So the price is trapped within this minor range here, and the price has reached a support, a dynamic support represented by this sliding parallel line of the ascending pitchfork. Also the price is located right above the 50% retracement level, also about the weekly pivot. So we are in a support area here today. That's why we had to take profit here around this area. Okay, after this one here, after this false breakout above this upper medium line, we decided to go short as an intraday trade. Yeah, so let's wait here to see what will happen, because we may have a rebound here if the DXY, the US dollar index, will continue to drop. Okay, nice to meet you too. So the bias is still bullish here as long as the price stays right above this area here. Okay, and personally I believe that only a breakdown, a valid breakdown from this range below this sliding parallel line, below the weekly S1, maybe a drop below 1755 here could really signal a potential larger drop here. But personally, as I've told you, I believe that the bias is still bullish here as long as the price stays right above this area here. So we need a confirmation here. Yeah, we will talk about GBP versus the Swiss franc, also about euro versus the US dollar. Okay, so we don't have a potential setup here right now in gold. I will wait to see how the price reacts here around this support area before maybe we will identify new opportunities here. And personally I believe that a false breakdown here followed by another increase, maybe valid breakout here above the upper medium line of the descending pitchfork here could signal an upside breakout and a potential upside continuation. And this scenario, a potential new leg higher will take shape and will be valid and validated if the DXY, the US dollar index, will continue to drop, guys. And let's take a look here on the DXY. As you already know from my previous live webinars analyses, the DXY maintains a bearish bias outlook. It is still located right below this downtrend line, and it has decreased again after this minor rebound here, registered right after the release of the CB consumer confidence. That indicator, economic indicator, CB consumer confidence, has come in, has reported better than expected data. So that's why we had this temporary rebound here on the DXY. But as I've told you, as long as the price stays below the 61.8, below the weekly pivot, it could still drop. So it has registered only a false breakout here above the downtrend line, above this one here, lower medium line of the descending pitchfork, and now it has reached the 78.6 retracement level, also the weekly support. And here we have a dynamic support represented by the 150% Fibonacci line of the descending pitchfork. Okay, also the price, so we are here in a support area again on the DXY. So the current rebound on the DXY, the current bounce back, throwback, forced the price of gold to decrease in the short term. Okay, and I will show you in a few minutes on the euro versus the US dollar why the price drops right now, only because the DXY increases. So we have a strong negative correlation between the DXY, the US dollar index, and the euro versus the US dollar. So when this one grows, euro versus the US dollar drops. Okay, okay, so we are in a support area here on the DXY. So only a valid breakdown here below all these could signal a further drop here. And personally I believe that maybe a potential valid breakout here above again the downtrend line, maybe a consolidation here, could bring us a potential rebound, strong rebound here on the DXY. So a potential increase here on the DXY could signal that the US dollar will appreciate, will increase versus the other currencies in the upcoming period, as long as the DXY will increase. Okay, but we still need confirmation for this one. And let's take a look on euro versus the US dollar. And as you already know, because you are VIP members, guys, our long position on the euro versus the US dollar has reached its target here last night, right after the FOMC, right after the Fed press conference. So I've told you on Tuesday in my previous live webinar that euro versus the US dollar is still bullish as long as it stays above this uptrend line. So the bias is still bullish as long as the price stays right above. Sir, can you explain why market moves in the sideways? So the price moves sideways. Maybe look here. Price has moved sideways after an important drop, trying to accumulate more bearish energy, waiting for more sellers to step in and to push the price lower. So we have these distribution movements, and we have something like this one here, like an accumulation. The bias is bullish. We have an uptrend. The price moves sideways in the short term, trying to accumulate more bullish energy to attract more buyers before it resumes its upside movement. Yeah, GBP versus the Japanese yen, we will talk about all these. Okay, so let's continue here with the euro versus the US dollar. So the price has found resistance and temporary resistance at the weekly R1 1.2150. Now is back below the downtrend line, and it could test and retest the uptrend line maybe today, guys. And as I've told you, as long as it stays right above it, the bias is still bullish. A false breakdown here, or a bullish engulfing, or any other reversal pattern, a pin bar here, could signal that the pair could start increasing again, and could signal that we may have a new upside momentum in the short term here on the euro versus the US dollar. And as I've told you, the euro versus the US dollar drops as the DXY increases right now. Okay, so personally I believe that only another drop registered by the DXY could send the price again above the downtrend line. And personally I believe that a new higher high here, a valid breakout above the weekly R1, could really signal a further growth in the upcoming period. And we have a strong and a major upside target here, represented by this one, by this upper medium line of the major descending pitchfork. You can take a look here. So the price has decreased, has found support on the 50% downside 50% Fibonacci line, and now it has jumped above the medium line, signaling that we may have potential growth towards this upper medium line here. So we'll have to wait for confirmation here, because personally I believe that we may have a bearish reversal here in the short term only if the price makes something like this breakdown, valid breakdown, retest of the uptrend line, of the downtrend line, a new lower low here, then we may have a new selling opportunity here on the euro versus the US dollar. But this scenario, a bearish reversal, will take shape only if the DXY will register a strong growth in the coming days, guys. So if we will have a new trading opportunity here on this pair, I will send you, me or my colleagues will send you the signals into the VIP Telegram group. Gold, let's take a look again. Thank you guys for all your messages, for questions. I'm still expecting you to write me in that chat if you want me to look on other markets. Yeah, so it's strongly bearish here. only because the DXY continues to increase. Okay, so a further growth here registered by the DXY will push the price of gold lower. Okay, and let's continue. Bitcoin. One moment. So Bitcoin slips lower, drops. Right now it has registered a new false breakout above the weekly resistance, R1 static resistance 55,500.01. It has failed to stabilize right above this one here, above this downtrend line. And I've told you on Tuesday that the price could decrease a little in the short term. We will talk about GBP versus the Swiss franc, also about GBP versus yen after I will finish here with Bitcoin. Thank you guys, thank you for all your messages. So this false breakout here above the downtrend line, above the R1, could send the price down a little in the short term, but we are still above this warning line, and let's see what will really happen in the short term. So maybe a potential drop here could be natural before the price of Bitcoin resumes its upside movement. Yeah, we will talk also again about the GBP versus the US dollar. I've talked about this one, but I will take a look again. So thank you guys for all your messages. So as I've just told you, and as you already know from my live from Tuesday, I've said that the price has registered a strong drop, a strong growth here, and we may have a temporary decline before jumps higher. Okay, so the price here, it has invalidated a further decline, so the corrective phase could be over. So a temporary drop here could help us to catch a new upside momentum here on Bitcoin. So I really believe that a potential drop, a valid breakout here, maybe a valid breakout here above the R1, a new higher high could really signal an important increase here on Bitcoin. Okay. GBP versus the US dollar. Okay, so as I've told you earlier, we have here a temporary range, a sideways movement after this aggressive breakout here above the former highs, above this resistance area. So the bias is still bullish and we are still long on this one, and if the price continues to increase, it could reach and hit our first target, guys. And if the price reaches our first target, then we will close half and we will place our stop loss at break even. But I will send you all the instructions into the VIP Telegram group, guys. So let's move forward. GBP versus the Swiss franc. Thank you guys for your messages. So I had this question maybe on Tuesday as well, and the scenario is the same here. So we have a strong support at 1.2642. Also, the price has retested the medium line of the descending pitchfork. It has jumped above it after its failure to stabilize below it, retests, and right now is also challenging the lower medium line of the ascending pitchfork here. Yeah, gold dropping, guys. So we are in a support area here. we had here a former low at 1.2665. The price has retested it. It has retested also the medium line, and personally I believe that if it stays right above and stabilizes maybe right above this lower medium line to register a new higher high here, to jump above all these previous highs, retest, then it could increase a little in the short term here, but we still need confirmation here, because as you can see we have an important range here in the short term, and I really need confirmation here, guys, before maybe going long or short. But as I've told you, 1.2642 is seen as a strong static support here, so failing to drop again below the medium line, stabilizing above the lower medium line, new higher highs here could signal a potential increase here in the short term, guys, on the GBP versus the Swiss franc. So the GBP could continue to increase. I've showed you the GBP versus the US dollar, the GBP versus the Singapore dollar. So the pound, the UK currency is strong in the short term, so here maybe something like this, or maybe a new false breakdown, a pin bar, a major bullish engulfing in this area here could signal that the pair could increase a little in the short term, with a potential target, guys, here maybe something like this. Okay, because we had this one here, a further increase. This is a sliding line, a sliding parallel line, or we could use a 50% Fibonacci line here at the half of the distance between the medium line and the lower medium line. We may have a first upside target. No. Is there any gold signal coming out today? No, because we had two positions, and personally I'll wait for the market to come. And as you can see on gold right now, that the volatility is very high after the US data. So as I've told you earlier, we are here in a support area. We had an aggressive drop here. Yeah, maybe next week, after we'll see what will happen here around this support area. Personally, I don't like to sell it right now here. We sold, we placed a short position right after this one here, after this new false breakout here above the upper medium line. Okay, so right now we are in a support area, and we really have to wait here on gold. And thank you guys once again for joining me here. Let's talk about the GBP versus the Japanese yen. Yeah, strongly bullish here, guys. Strongly bullish also because I have the Nikkei, the Japanese stock index, only because the Japanese stock index could continue to increase after this temporary movement, sideways movement here. Okay, so as I've told you earlier, the British pound is strongly bullish, and it could continue to increase versus its rivals. And right now here the pair has jumped and it has registered a new higher high. It has jumped above 151, sorry guys, 0.98, and it could continue to increase here in the short term. Okay, so the bias is still bullish here on the GBP versus the Japanese yen. Okay, and here if we'll have maybe a sideways movement, consolidation right above this former high, then we'll get a confirmation that the pair will continue to increase. Right now we don't have a new long entry because the price could invalidate this breakout anytime here. If the price will drop, stabilize right below it, then it could decrease a little in the short term. So because if the Japanese stock index, the Nikkei will drop in the short term, then the yen will try to increase a little versus all its rivals, guys. But as I've told you here, the bias is bullish. We have a strong uptrend. We had only a temporary correction here, sideways movement, and the next upside target could be here at 152.55, and maybe a valid breakout above this one could signal a further growth, at least towards this higher high here. Okay, and let's go back. I really want to talk also about the US 30, about the US indexes. So the US dollar versus the Japanese yen, so it's strongly bullish and it could reach our first target soon here. Now, can we buy GBP versus the Japanese yen now? No, Saras. I don't believe this, because as I've told you earlier, one moment. So we had an opportunity maybe around here after the price has failed to stabilize below 149.58, after the price has jumped above this former high here, or maybe after this breakout, valid breakout here above the weekly pivot. So this it was our this one, it was a good entry here in the GBP versus the yen in the short term here after this valid breakout here, or after jumping above these former highs, but not right now because the price is trading higher. It's almost to reach an important resistance, 152.55, so the price could decrease a little in the short term if the Nikkei will decrease. Okay, so no, we don't have a long opportunity right now here, only because the price has jumped above this former high. Okay, and if we'll have new entries here, new opportunities here, I will come back, me or my colleagues, and we will send you the signals into the VIP Telegram group, guys. And let's take a look on the Ether, guys, and let's talk about this major cryptocurrency. I've told you in my previous live webinars that the price of Ethereum could continue to increase after its failure here to reach and retest the 2040 here, 0.62, the weekly support. It has jumped aggressively above the weekly pivot, above this warning line, and now it has confirmed its breakout above this upside line of the up channel, also above the R1, guys, above this weekly resistance. So we had a strong resistance area here the price has confirmed the breakout, and now it could continue to increase here. And let's talk about a potential upside target here on Ethereum. I will draw an ascending pitchfork here, 1, 2 guys, and 3. Okay, so let's select another color for this one. So as you can see, the price has increased, it has reached the medium line, has reached the upside 50% Fibonacci line, it has dropped, and you can see that the lower medium line of the ascending pitchfork represents a strong dynamic support. Tests, retests here, false breakdowns, all these have confirmed this lower medium line as an important and strong dynamic support, and have signaled a potential new leg higher here in the short term on Ethereum, guys. And now the price has reached again the upside 50% Fibonacci line. So here we have the lower medium line, guys, and I really want to draw here a new warning line. One moment, like this. So this is the third warning line. So as you can see here, the price of Ethereum has managed to pass above strong resistance area here, and now it is somehow expected to continue to increase, even if the price will maybe decrease a little in the short term, consolidate here before it will jump higher. And we have a next upside target here at the R2 weekly resistance 29.30, and at the upper medium line of the ascending pitchfork, guys, upper medium line. Okay, so the price could continue to increase here on Ethereum, right, guys? I'm waiting for your messages if you want me to take a look on other markets, on other forex pairs, commodities. Let's take a look also on silver, guys, and we will talk also about the US 30, US 100, maybe about the US 500, about DAX. That's why I'm here, guys. I'm waiting for your messages, for your... So silver, the upper medium line of the ascending pitchfork is seen as a strong dynamic resistance here. The price failed to come back to reach the weekly resistance R1, or this outside sliding line, so we had here a strong resistance area. So the drop is natural, also because the price of gold drops right now. Okay, so if the price of gold will continue to drop, then silver could resume its drop as well, towards S1, towards S2, towards the lower medium line, if the price of gold will register a strong sell-off. Okay, US 30, guys. So you know from my webinars that the bias is still bullish, and that this temporary decrease and sideways movement could help the buyers to go long again. Yeah, we will talk about the Australian dollar versus the US dollar. Thank you, Costel Lazar. So here the price has jumped above this minor downtrend line here, but unfortunately it has failed here to stabilize right above this weekly pivot. So personally I believe that if the price stays right above this minor downtrend line and then to jump above the immediate height to stabilize right above it, that it will confirm further growth here, but we'll have to wait. Because if the US dollar, yes, we will talk about the US dollar versus the Swiss franc as well. Thank you guys. So personally I believe that if the US dollar will continue to increase in the short term versus the other major currencies, if the DXY will jump higher, the US dollar index will continue to increase, then the US 30 could drop deeper, guys. Okay, so let's wait and see here, because all these failures here to approach, reach and retest the upper medium line of the descending pitchfork signal a selling pressure here in the short term, guys. And if we'll have a valid breakdown here below the 33,697 static support, below the weekly S1 support below 23.6, a valid breakdown here could signal a potential further drop here in the short term, registered by the Dow Jones Industrial Average, guys. One moment, because I really want to draw here an inside sliding parallel line. So the price has decreased a little, it has retested the upper medium line. We had the first drop here, and that's why I want to use this one here as a dynamic support, this inside sliding parallel line. So the price could move sideways or it could decrease between the upper medium line and the sliding line, and only a potential valid breakdown here below this former low, below the sliding line, could confirm a further drop here registered by the US 30. Okay, and this scenario will take shape if the US dollar will continue to increase versus the other currencies in the short term. Or here a potential drop, false breakdown, consolidation right above the sliding line, only false breakdowns below this former low could signal a new leg higher, a potential new growth here on the US 30, on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Hi, I am looking at the Australian dollar versus the Canadian dollar resuming up move after this correction. Let's take a look, guys. We have an aggressive drop here, and as you can see, and maybe you already know, the Canadian dollar is strongly bullish in the short term. So the Canadian dollar is strongly bullish, and personally I wait to see what will really happen when the price reaches this medium line of the major descending pitchfork here. One moment, guys. So let's take a look here. Right, so maybe we had here only a continuation pattern. We had an up channel, the price has dropped below it, and now it could continue to drop if it will make something like this, guys. Valid breakdown here below the medium line of the major descending pitchfork, below S2, below 61.8 retracement level. But we could still have also a rebound, a bounce back from this support area here. We need confirmation here, but I will keep an eye on it, and if we will have a new long entry, then I will send you the signal into the VIP Telegram group, guys. So as you can see, and we have here we had a strong uptrend, and if the price drops and stabilizes below 61.8, below these former lows here, then it could confirm a reversal here on this pair, but the price could still find strong support here on this area, and it could try to jump higher again in the short term. Okay, euro. Okay, let's take a look on this one. Euro versus the South African rand. Euro versus the South African currency, and let's take a look here, and let's jump on the daily. So unfortunately here the price has dropped from this potential falling wedge pattern, reversal pattern, and now is fighting hard to stabilize right above the upper medium line of the descending pitchfork. And yeah, we need to wait here for confirmation if we will have a potential bullish reversal here, or if we will have a further downside movement. And let's go back on the 4-hour. And I really want to draw an ascending pitchfork here, like this, 1, 2, and 3, guys. So we had a first increase here, a minor increase. The price has found strong resistance here. It has increased a little to retest the weekly pivot point, and now is trying to take out the first resistance, R1. But we still have here a former high, and as long as the price stays below it, the selling pressure is still high. Also, let's take a look on volumes, one moment. Yeah, but still, as long as the price stays below 17.4990, I'm afraid that the bias is still bearish, and the pair has increased right now in the short term, and today only because the DXY, the US dollar index, has jumped higher in the short term. But as you already know, I've told you that the DXY, the US dollar index, is still bearish. So as long as we don't have a confirmation that the DXY will register, will develop, will print an important and a strong growth in the upcoming days, upcoming weeks, the bias is still bearish. Okay, so we cannot go long here as long as the DXY is still bearish. Maybe we will have something if the price maybe jumps here, consolidates, registers a valid breakout above the downtrend line, retests a new higher high here, then maybe we could think that the pair could jump higher. Okay, guys, let's take a look again on the euro versus the US dollar. and as I've told you earlier, the bias is still bullish here. The price could stabilize above the downtrend line, and as long as it stays above the uptrend line, the bias is bullish and it could continue to increase. And let's take a look again on the DXY. So yeah, the DXY stays right below this downtrend line. A new potential drop here could send the euro versus the US dollar higher. Okay, so here we have the USD versus the South African rand. The same situation here. A temporary growth only because the DXY has jumped higher, and we have a temporary range here. Maybe an upside breakout, consolidation could signal that the pair could increase in the short term, but only if the DXY, the US dollar index, will jump higher in the short term. Okay, euro versus the Swiss franc. Thank you guys for all your messages. Thanks for joining me here today. Euro versus the Swiss franc rallies right now. After retesting this lower medium line of the ascending pitchfork. So we have here a sideways movement around the 38.2 retracement level, and we may have a pattern here as well. Let's take a look. Maybe something like this. A down channel. This down channel could represent it is bad to trade in 5 minutes, 15 minutes and 1 hour charts. It depends on you. It depends, because if you are a day trader, yeah, you could trade on these time frames, but if you are a swing trader, you will search for longer positions from few hours to 3 days maybe. Okay, so, or even more. So it's up to you guys. Every trader is different. You can trade on those time frames, but the volatility, if the volatility will be very high, you will ruin maybe your account if you don't have enough experience, guys. So this one here, this down channel, could represent a continuation pattern in the medium to the long term. So an upside breakout from this pattern, maybe something like this, could signal a potential further growth. You can see that the price has failed here to retest this downside line of the down channel. Now is trapped within this up channel, within the ascending pitchfork body, and as long as it stays above the lower medium line, it could continue to increase. And right now, if the price closes this one here, this candle, and if it prints a bullish engulfing here, then we may have a signal that the pair could continue to increase in the short term. But we don't have a buying signal right now here, because its failure to reach the medium line signals a selling pressure. That's why the price has decreased here. after its failure to reach the medium line to retest the 38.2 retracement level. This false breakout here with great separation above the R1 still signals some pressure here, bearish pressure, and we'll have to wait here, guys, maybe for another false breakdown, another retest here before the price increases, or if the price drops here, stabilizes below the lower medium line, then it could decrease after dropping also below the S1 and stabilizing below S1. Sir, please, GBP versus the New Zealand dollar. Yeah, guys, that's why I am here for you guys, only for VIP today. The price has found strong support here on the weekly S1. You can see here that the price has printed a pin bar. The pin bar was confirmed by this strong bullish candle. It has increased again to retest this area, the weekly support, and now is almost to maybe close right above the medium line, but unfortunately, and as you can see here on the 4-hour chart, the price is still located far below the downtrend line. So it is hard to believe that the pair will register an important upside movement as long as it stays right below it. But in the short term, as you already know, the GBP, the British pound, is strongly bullish, and it increases versus all its rivals, versus the US dollar, versus, let's take a look also, GBP euro versus the GBP. I believe that the pair drops, as I've told you, on Tuesday. After this medium line retest, the price should drop in the short term. So GBP versus the New Zealand dollar. Let's take a look also on the 1 hour. And let's draw a minor here downtrend line. So the price has managed to jump again above this one, and one moment, it has escaped from this down channel, and right now if the price will jump and maybe stabilize above this immediate high 1.9321, then it could increase to reach the major downtrend line, guys, and we'll see how the price will react here when it will reach the major downtrend line, guys. So as long as it stays right below it, the bias is still bearish here, even if the price increases at this moment. Okay, so we need something, maybe if the price jumps above the immediate high, maybe if it stabilizes right above this medium line of the descending pitchfork, and if it makes a valid breakout here above the downtrend line, then we could search for long entries. And if we will have a new long entry here, I will send you the link into the VIP Telegram group only for you guys. Oil, US oil, but let's take a look again on gold. Gold rejected by 1756. Yeah, guys, I've told you that we are in a support area here, and we may have rejections from this area, right? And let's go, let's move forward, and let's talk about US oil. It has registered a strong growth here, guys, only because the US dollar, one moment, the US dollar versus the Canadian dollar, it has continued to drop after failing here to validate a potential reversal pattern, a potential reverse head and shoulders pattern, reversal pattern. So this aggressive drop here on the US dollar versus the Canadian dollar has pushed the US oil higher. Yeah, we will talk about the German stock index. So the bias is bullish. You already know from my previous lives, from my analyses. The price of US oil could continue to increase after its failure here to stabilize below 23.6. After all these false breakdowns below the lower medium line of the descending pitchfork, guys. So the bias is bullish. The price has registered a new higher high, and soon it could reach an important resistance area represented by R2. We have here former highs, and the price could also reach this strong resistance, dynamic resistance, represented by the upper medium line of the descending pitchfork, guys. So let's see how the price reacts here, but the bias is bullish, guys. After its failure here to stabilize right below this level, the US oil has failed to confirm a deeper correction. So the bias is bullish here, and the price could continue to increase after maybe retesting here the R1 and this one here, the former high here. Okay, yeah guys, DAX 30, the German stock index. Yeah, unfortunately the price has turned against us, unfortunately, and the short position was stopped here at stop loss. I've told you on Tuesday that this lower medium line of the minor ascending pitchfork acts as a dynamic support, and I told you that only a valid breakdown below it could signal an aggressive drop here. And right now the price is pressuring the 15,157, and let's see how it reacts here. If it stabilizes right below it, to drop also below S1 to stabilize below it, then it could confirm a deeper drop. But DAX 30 drops as the US 30 drops. Okay, so I believe that all important indexes are trading in the red right now, only because, personally I believe that only because the US dollar has rebounded right now in the short term. So the DXY rebounded, and that's why, yeah, US 100, Nasdaq 100 drops after registering a false breakout here above the former all-time high, historical high. So we have here something like a sideways movement, potential range here on Nasdaq, and the price here drops also because the US dollar has rebounded, has increased a little in the short term. And after the US data released earlier, US 500, let's take a look here as well. Yes, it drops as well, it's trading in the red, but this minor decrease on the Dow Jones, on the S&P 500, US 100, on the Nasdaq, yeah, don't worry, you can see this webinar again I will send you, maybe you already have, actually you already have the link into the VIP Telegram group, and you can see the entire webinar there as well. Okay. Okay, so the potential temporary drop on the US stock indexes could bring us new opportunities. So if we'll have a temporary drop here on the S&P, on the US 500, maybe the price to retest the uptrend line, then we may have a new long entry, a new long opportunity. Also on the Nasdaq, a temporary drop, we have here a strong uptrend, and the price is traded far above the major uptrend line. So a temporary sideways movement here, test retest of the upper medium line, maybe a drop deeper could bring us new long entries, new long opportunities. Okay, thank you as well. Yeah, maybe it was smart not to move the stop loss in gold, guys. Okay. Russell 2000. Let's take a look here. Yeah, unfortunately we had a buy stop here right above these former highs, but the price has decreased. We deleted that buy stop pending order, and now the price has jumped above these former highs and it could increase. But here as well on the Russell, the price could drop to test and retest this medium line of the ascending pitchfork. So it has escaped from the descending pitchfork's body, and now it could try to consolidate and stabilize right above the medium line of the ascending pitchfork. And if I will use here on inside, I will draw here a line, a parallel line with the medium line, a sliding parallel line, and I will place it here because the price has increased. So that's why I'm using this dynamic resistance here. Drop, and the price has increased and it has reached this sliding line again. So this sliding line inside sliding parallel line acts as dynamic resistance, and now the price could decrease a little in the short term after failing to stabilize right above the weekly R1, guys. So if the good trade call anyway, my friend. Yeah, so maybe Russell could move sideways before registering a valid breakout here above the sliding line and before continuing to increase. So this one could be only a temporary drop here before the price will continue to increase. Okay, let's take a look on Nifty, guys. Thank you, Saras. So let's make an analysis here from scratch because I didn't take a look. I'm not following this market. So uptrend, guys, here. Let's start with the weekly because I'm not following this market. And yeah, okay, so we are in a bull market here. We have the price of this index continues to increase within an uptrend. The price has registered only a false breakdown here below the uptrend, And let's take a look here, because I really want to draw, guys, something like this, a descending pitchfork. So 1, 2, 3, we have a descending pitchfork here. The price has decreased, has failed to reach the medium line of the descending pitchfork, signaling that the price could jump higher. So every time the price fails to reach the medium line, the price increases, comes back towards the upper medium line. We had a few false breakouts here, but as you can see now the price has increased aggressively, and most likely it will continue to increase here also after this false breakdown. We could place here an outside sliding parallel line, a dynamic support, a dynamic resistance, sorry guys, a dynamic resistance here. So increase, sliding line, retest, drop, and maybe we had here something like a minor falling wedge pattern. So if the price continues to stay right above the uptrend line, this breakout, aggressive breakout here from this falling wedge pattern could signal further increase here, at least towards these historical highs here. Maybe the price will approach and reach this one here, 15,431.75. Okay, so we had a continuation pattern here, uptrend, and now this index could increase, and right now the price is trying to close also above the 150% Fibonacci line of the descending pitchfork, stabilizing above it and maybe above this former high, something like this, could signal further growth towards the historical high, guys. Let's take a look here as well. So we are still in an uptrend. And let's see here. I will also use stochastic, and as you can see, guys, we have a bearish divergence here. And we'll have to wait to see how the price will react here. We have a major resistance area, guys, here, and a false breakout here with great separation, a major bearish engulfing, a pin bar or any other reversal pattern here could send the price below the uptrend, and a valid breakdown below this major uptrend line could signal a corrective phase. Okay, and I believe that only something like this, valid breakout, test, retests, a valid breakout here to invalidate the bearish divergence here could signal that this one could continue to increase. Okay, so an upside breakout here, valid breakout here, could signal an aggressive rally in the upcoming period, and false breakouts followed by a downside breakout, test retest, could signal a temporary correction here, because the price action has developed here a rising wedge reversal pattern, guys, but we still need confirmation, we still have to wait for confirmation here. Okay, that's it, guys, for today. Thank you. Whoa, we had a longer session, live webinar than usual, but personally I wanted to answer to your questions, and I really wanted to take a look on all markets to answer to your questions. So thank you guys once again for joining me here today for this live webinar, Don't forget, guys, to subscribe. It is very important to subscribe to our YouTube channel, because you will receive a notification, you will be notified every time we will go live, and when we will post and publish public tutorials or analyses, or when we will host free and public webinars, guys. Okay, so it is very important to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can visit our website